Hello. I've been asked to give a few words about my experience with my spiritual growth along with art. I've always really enjoyed creating things, making art, seeing what three things would fit together and how they might be useful. And along the line, folks have said I'm an artist. I'll have to admit that's always bothered me because I thought of art as having to be like nature and be perfect, and that I just wasn't living up to that. So I had to do a lot of thinking over the years and really go back to the beginning, because in the beginning God created nature. Nature really was the first revelation of God. And then he created people, you and I, over the years, and gave us a task. Ours was to care for nature and all of creation, and to use it, but not to abuse it. And so it kind of occurred to me that really God was the first creator, the first artist. And so I need to relate to that God in order to express any artistic notions and abilities that I have. I first learned to sew, my mother taught me, and then I learned to paint, and then I learned to do some speaking, and then I learned to do some writing. And it all comes down to the fact that I'm created in the image of God, and as such, I'm a co-creator with God. And since we're all created by God, and it's a succession kind of creation, we're all artists. We're all co-creators. That's helped me to relax about my painting and to do whatever I have to give. It may be something very formal and something I may go overseas to a really beautiful place to see, bring it back so that we know something else about this world that God created. Or it may be like this one, which was the use of leftover paint to use it up. Part of that relates back to not wasting what God has created. God's nature is or provides the raw materials. That was here before we got here. And then we were given the job of using it, helping us to live, helping us to learn to share and make the benefits go around, and to create art that will remind us of nature and our Creator God. So I really have decided that not only am I an artist, but that through the whole process of birth and relating clear back to original, we all are co-creators with God, no matter what our gifts are or how we express them. Obviously, we think of musicians or painters or writers or musicians, but actually teachers, preachers, homemakers, parents, developers, planners, inventors, scientists, the whole gamut. And don't forget the house cleaners and the ditch diggers and all the gardeners who take care of God's creation. We all have an investment in that, to use it, take care of it, and to share it. Meaning also not only the raw materials, but ourselves. So this is a little attempt on my part to share my co-creation with my Creator God. And I hope hope that I can continue to understand God's ways. Now, you know, I started out saying I was a perfectionist. Maybe I missed that part, but I was early in my life. I was very unhappy with anything I did because it wasn't perfect. So I've decided that if you look at nature, nature's not perfect either. It has its upside and its downside, but it all works together. So I'm trying not to be a perfectionist, to use up the old paint and to take care of the raw materials that God gave us, and in the meantime, honor God. Thanks for letting me share.